Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Simple English Cast, the podcast where we help you improve your English in the easiest and most natural way possible. I'm your host, Alex, and as always, I'm very happy that you are here listening to us today.
And hello, everyone. I'm Meera, and I'm really excited to be here again talking with Alex and with all of you. If you're listening right now, imagine that we are sitting together in a comfortable room, maybe with a cup of coffee or tea, just having a friendly conversation.
Exactly. That's the idea of this podcast. We want you to feel like you're part of the conversation, not like a classroom lesson, but more like two friends talking while you listen and learn.
And today, we're going to talk about something that affects almost everyone in the world in one way or another.
Yes, today's topic is spring.
Spring is such an interesting season because it changes not only the weather, but also how people feel.
That's very true. Actually, Meera, I want to start by asking you a question. Did you notice any change in your mood recently?
That's a good question. Now that you mention it, yes, I think I did. Over the last few days, I've been feeling more energetic and, strangely, optimistic.
Optimistic is a great word.
Yes, I wake up in the morning and instead of feeling tired and slow, I feel like I actually want to start the day.
That sounds like a big change.
It really is. A week ago, I was waking up and thinking, can I go back to sleep for another hour?
I think many people listening right now understand that feeling very well.
I'm sure they do.
But lately, something feels different, right?
Exactly. I open the window in the morning and the air feels fresher. The sunlight looks warmer. Even the birds sound louder and happier.
That's such a beautiful description.
And honestly, it made me wonder if something had changed in my life. But then I realized something. Simple.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Spring is arriving.
Exactly.
It's amazing how much a season can affect our mood.
Yes. And what's interesting is that many people don't even realize it's happening.
They just suddenly feel better without knowing why.
Right. They might think, why do I suddenly want to go outside?
Or why do I suddenly feel motivated to clean my house?
Or why do I want to start a new project or learn something new?
And the answer might simply be spring.
There's actually a phrase in English that describes this feeling perfectly.
Yes, there is. The phrase is spring fever.
Spring fever sounds like an illness, doesn't it?
It really does. If someone told me they had a fever, I would think they were sick.
But spring fever is actually the opposite of being sick.
Exactly. Spring fever means feeling excited, restless, and full of energy when spring arrives.
It's like your brain suddenly wakes up after a long sleep.
That's a great way to explain it.
Let me give an example. Someone might say, I think I have spring fever. I want to go hiking, start exercising, redecorate my house, and plan a vacation.
That's a perfect example.
It's like your mind is full of new ideas.
And sometimes maybe too many ideas.
Yes, that's true.
Have you ever made a long list of things you wanted to do in spring?
Oh, absolutely.
What kind of things were on the list?
Let's see. I once made a list that included learning photography, starting a small vegetable garden, jogging every morning, reading 10 books, and reorganizing my entire apartment.
That's a very ambitious list.
Yes, and I think I only completed 2 things from that list.
Which two?
I bought a camera, and I planted 3 tomatoes.
Well, that's still something.
Yes, but the excitement at the beginning was definitely stronger than my motivation later.
That's a classic case of spring fever.
I think sunlight plays a big role in this feeling.
Absolutely.
In winter, the days are short. It gets dark very early.
Yes, sometimes the sun disappears before people even finish work.
Exactly. And when it's dark outside, most people just want to stay inside.
But in spring, the days become longer.
You finish your work, and the sun is still shining.
That changes everything.
Suddenly, you feel like the day isn't over yet.
You might think, maybe I'll go for a walk.
Or maybe I'll sit outside for a while.
Or maybe I'll call a friend and meet them at a cafe.
Exactly. The extra daylight makes people feel like they have more time.
And that feeling alone can improve your mood.
And another thing that changes in spring is nature.
Yes, nature suddenly becomes very alive again.
During winter, many trees look empty and lifeless.
But in spring, something magical happens. Leaves start growing again.
Flowers begin to appear everywhere.
And the grass becomes bright green.
There's a beautiful word to describe that kind of green.
Yes, the word is lush.
Lush means very green, healthy, and full of life.
For example, someone might say, the park looks lush after the spring rain.
Or, the garden is so lush this time of year.
When something is lush, it almost looks like it's overflowing with life.
That's a perfect description.
Another word we often use in spring is vibrant.
Vibrant is such a lovely word.
Vibrant means bright, colorful, and full of energy.
For example, someone might say, "The flowers in the garden are so vibrant."
Or, the market was full of vibrant colors.
Spring is definitely a vibrant season.
After months of gray skies and dull colors, suddenly everything becomes bright again.
Pink flowers, yellow flowers, white blossoms.
And bright green leaves everywhere.
Even the sky sometimes looks clearer and bluer.
And being surrounded by those colors can actually change how people feel.
Yes, it can make people feel happier and more energetic.
There's another word that describes this emotional effect.
Yes, the word is uplifting.
When something is uplifting, it makes you feel happier and more positive.
For example, someone might say, "That walk in the park was very uplifting."
Or listening to music can be uplifting.
Spring itself can be uplifting.
Just seeing flowers and sunlight can improve your mood.
Have you ever noticed that people smile more in spring?
Yes, I have noticed that.
When the weather becomes warmer, people spend more time outside.
And when people are outside, they interact more.
They greet each other, they talk, they laugh.
And that creates a positive atmosphere.
But spring weather isn't always perfect.
That's very true.
Sometimes spring weather can be very confusing.
You look outside and the sun is shining.
So you think it's warm.
So then you step outside.
And suddenly it's freezing.
That's when we use the word deceiving.
Yes, deceiving means something looks one way but is actually different.
For example, someone might say, the weather looked warm, but it was deceiving.
Or, the sky was sunny, but the wind was very cold.
Spring weather loves to trick people.
I think everyone has experienced this at least once.
You leave the house wearing a light jacket.
And suddenly the wind hits you.
And you immediately regret your decision.
Yes, you think, I should have worn a thicker coat.
Let's talk about mornings first. Spring mornings have a very special feeling.
Yes, they do. There's a word that describes spring mornings perfectly.
The word is brisk.
Brisk is a really useful English word.
When we say the air is brisk, we mean it is cool and fresh in a way that wakes you up.
It's not freezing cold.
Right.
But it's cool enough that when you step outside, you suddenly feel more alert.
For example, someone might say, I went for a brisk walk this morning.
That means the weather was cool, fresh, and energizing.
I personally love brisk mornings
Why do you like them so much?
because the air feels very clean and refreshing.
I agree with that.
When I breathe in the air on a brisk spring morning, it almost feels like my lungs are waking up.
That's a great description.
It's also the perfect weather for walking.
Yes. Walking in hot weather can be uncomfortable.
But brisk weather feels energizing.
Exactly.
Have you ever gone for a walk early in the morning during spring?
Yes, I have.
What did you notice?
Well, one thing I noticed was how quiet everything felt.
That's true.
Most people are still asleep, but nature is already awake.
Birds are singing,
The air feels fresh.
and the sunlight is soft.
It creates a very peaceful atmosphere.
That kind of moment can really improve your whole day.
But of course, spring is not only sunshine and fresh air.
No, it definitely isn't.
Spring also brings rain.
Lots of rain.
And in English, there's a very famous expression related to spring rain.
Yes, there is.
The expression is April showers.
April showers simply means the rain that often happens during spring, especially in April.
And there's a longer saying that many English speakers know.
The saying is, April showers bring May flowers.
It's actually a very beautiful saying.
Yes, it is.
The meaning is simple.
The rain that falls in spring helps flowers grow later.
So even though rain might seem unpleasant, it is actually necessary.
Without rain, the flowers wouldn't grow.
And without flowers, spring wouldn't look nearly as beautiful.
Exactly.
Rainy spring days can feel very cozy, though.
That's true.
When it rains outside, many people enjoy staying indoors.
Maybe reading a book,
Or watching a movie.
or drinking a warm cup of coffee or tea.
Rain has a calming effect on many people.
Yes, the sound of rain can be very relaxing.
Some people even listen to recordings of rain to help them sleep.
That's actually very common.
But rain can also create problems sometimes.
Yes, especially when you forget to bring an umbrella.
That has happened to me many times.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
You leave the house in the morning, the sky looks clear, and you think everything is fine.
Exactly.
Then, suddenly, the clouds appear.
And 5 minutes later, it starts raining.
That's another example of deceiving weather.
Spring weather really loves surprises.
Now, let's talk about something very interesting that happens to many people in spring.
Yes, this is something I experience every year.
Me too.
And that is the sudden desire to clean everything.
Yes, the famous spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning is a tradition in many places.
It means cleaning your home very thoroughly when spring arrives.
Not just normal cleaning.
No.
We're talking about serious cleaning.
Cleaning closets,
Cleaning drawers,
cleaning shelves.
sometimes even moving furniture.
Exactly.
People suddenly feel the need to make their home feel fresh and organized.
And that brings us to another useful word.
The word is revamp.
To revamp something means to give it a fresh new look.
For example, someone might say, I want to revamp my living room,
That could mean changing the furniture arrangement,
or adding new decorations.
or painting the walls.
Spring is the perfect time to revamp things.
Yes, because the season itself represents renewal.
Everything outside is changing and becoming fresh again.
So people want their homes to feel fresh too.
Last spring, I decided to revamp my bedroom.
What did you change?
I moved the bed to a different wall, added new curtains, and bought some plants.
Plants can really transform a room.
Yes, they can.
Did it make a difference?
A huge difference.
How did it feel?
It honestly felt like I was living in a completely new space.
Another important part of spring cleaning is getting rid of things you don't need.
Yes, and English has a funny phrase for those random items we collect.
The phrase is odds and ends.
Odds and ends are small, random things that don't really have a clear purpose.
For example, old cables,
Broken pens,
old receipts,
buttons.
pieces of paper.
Everyone has at least one drawer full of odds and ends.
I definitely do.
Me too.
Sometimes I open that drawer and wonder how all those things ended up there.
It's like a mystery drawer.
Exactly.
Spring is the perfect time to finally organize those odds and ends.
Or throw some of them away. Now I want to talk about something deeper. Something that many people feel in spring, but don't always talk about.
I think I know what you mean.
You probably do.
You're talking about that feeling of new energy.
Exactly.
There is a very useful word in English for this feeling.
Yes, and the word is rejuvenate.
When something rejuvenates you, it makes you feel renewed, refreshed, and full of energy again.
It's almost like pressing a reset button on your body and mind.
That's a perfect explanation.
For example, someone might say, "That weekend in nature really rejuvenated me."
Or someone might say, "Spring always rejuvenates me after a long winter."
I personally feel rejuvenated every spring.
What makes you feel that way?
I think it's a combination of many things.
Such as?
More sunlight, warmer weather, and the fact that people spend more time outside.
I agree with that.
After months of cold weather and staying indoors, stepping outside into fresh air feels amazing.
It really does.
Even a simple walk in a park can feel rejuvenating.
Especially when you see flowers starting to bloom.
Here's something interesting I've noticed.
What's that?
Many people talk about January as the beginning of a new year.
Yes, people make New Year's resolutions.
They promise to change their habits, start exercising, eat healthier, learn new skills.
But how often do those plans actually last?
Not very often.
Exactly.
And I think there's a reason for that.
What do you think the reason is?
January doesn't always feel inspiring.
That's true.
It's usually cold, dark, and people feel tired after the holiday season.
So even though the calendar says it's a new beginning, it doesn't feel like one.
Exactly.
But spring is different.
Very different.
Spring actually feels like a real new beginning.
Nature itself is starting again.
Trees are growing new leaves.
Flowers are appearing.
Animals become more active.
And people suddenly feel more motivated.
I've noticed that many people start new habits during spring.
Yes, that's very common.
For example, people might start jogging in the mornings.
Or riding a bicycle.
Or hiking in nature.
Spring weather is perfect for outdoor activities.
It's not too hot and not too cold.
Just comfortable.
Let me ask you a question, Alex.
Go ahead.
What do you think is the best part of spring?
I think the best part of spring is the feeling of optimism.
Optimism.
Yes,
Why do you say that?
because everything around you feels like it's moving forward.
That's a lovely thought.
You see new leaves, you feel warmth, you anticipate warmer days.
You feel like anything is possible.
Exactly.
That feeling is powerful.
And it helps people feel happier and more energetic.
And it helps people start new things.
And more social.
It's all connected.
Let's talk about spring fever decisions.
Those are the decisions people make when they suddenly feel full of energy and excitement because spring has arrived.
Exactly. Sometimes those decisions are wonderful.
But sometimes they're a little impulsive.
Let me ask you something, Meera. Have you ever made a decision during spring that later made you laugh?
Oh, yes, I definitely have.
Now I'm curious. What happened?
One spring morning, I woke up feeling extremely motivated.
That sounds like classic spring fever.
It really was. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and I felt like I could accomplish anything.
That feeling can be very powerful.
Yes, and in that moment, I decided I was going to completely change my lifestyle.
That sounds serious.
It was serious, at least for about 3 days.
What did you decide to do?
I decided I was going to wake up at 5 in the morning every day, go running, cook healthy meals, and become extremely productive.
That is a very ambitious plan.
Yes, and the first day actually went very well.
You woke up at 5?
Yes, I did.
That's impressive.
I went running in the park, and the weather was beautiful.
And how did you feel?
I felt amazing. I felt energized and proud of myself.
So, what happened after that?
The second day was a little harder.
Let me guess. You woke up later?
Yes, I woke up at 6.
Still not bad.
But by the third day, I woke up at 8 and decided to take a rest day.
Ah, the famous rest day.
Yes, and that rest day quietly became a permanent habit.
I think many listeners understand that story very well.
Probably.
Another interesting thing about spring is that many cultures have special traditions during this season.
Yes, spring has always been associated with renewal and new beginnings.
In many places, people celebrate festivals during spring.
These celebrations often include music, food, and outdoor gatherings.
People feel happier and more social.
Spring is also a popular time for festivals related to nature.
For example, flower festivals.
Yes, those are beautiful events.
In many cities around the world, people visit parks and gardens to see flowers blooming.
Some places become famous for their spring flowers.
People travel long distances just to see them.
It's amazing how something as simple as flowers can attract so many visitors.
But flowers are powerful symbols of life and beauty.
And spring is the season when those symbols appear everywhere.
Spring is also the perfect time for outdoor activities.
Yes, the weather becomes comfortable enough for many different activities.
People start going hiking.
Bicycling becomes popular again.
Families go to parks.
Friends organize picnics.
Even simple walks become more enjoyable.
Let me ask you something, Alex.
Sure.
What would be your perfect spring day?
That's a great question.
Take your time.
I think my perfect spring day would start with a long walk in a quiet park.
That sounds peaceful.
Then I would probably sit on a bench for a while and read a book.
Reading outside feels very relaxing.
Yes, especially when the weather is comfortable.
What would you do after that?
Maybe meet a friend for coffee at a small outdoor cafe.
That sounds like a perfect spring afternoon.
What about you?
My perfect spring day would probably include a long bike ride.
That sounds active.
Yes, I love biking when the weather is mild.
Where would you ride?
Somewhere with a lot of trees and open space.
That sounds beautiful.
I think one of the reasons spring makes people happy is because it reminds us that change is possible.
That's a very thoughtful idea.
During winter, everything can feel slow and quiet.
Sometimes even a little dull.
But spring shows us that things can grow again.
Flowers grow again.
Trees grow again.
And people feel inspired to grow as well.
Exactly.
Another interesting effect of spring is that it can increase creativity.
That's true.
Artists, writers, and musicians often feel more inspired during spring.
The colors, the light, and the energy of the season can stimulate imagination.
Many famous paintings and poems were inspired by spring.
Nature has always been a powerful source of inspiration.
The first phrase we talked about earlier was spring fever.
Spring fever is that restless, excited feeling people get when spring arrives.
It's when you suddenly feel like you want to do many things at once.
You might want to start exercising, travel somewhere new, clean your home, or begin a new hobby.
For example, someone might say, I think I have spring fever because I suddenly want to change everything in my life.
Or they might say, every spring I get spring fever and make a long list of plans.
And sometimes those plans work.
And sometimes they quietly disappear after a few weeks.
But that excitement is still part of the fun.
Another word we learned is lush.
Lush describes nature when it is very green, healthy, and full of life.
After spring rain, parks and gardens often look lush.
For example, someone might say, the forest looks incredibly lush this time of year.
Or, after all that rain, the grass became lush and vibrant.
Lush is a wonderful word for describing spring landscapes.
Next, we talked about the word vibrant.
Vibrant means bright, colorful, and full of energy.
Spring flowers are often described as vibrant.
For example, someone might say, "The garden is full of vibrant colors."
Or, the flowers in the park look vibrant today.
When something is vibrant, it almost feels alive with color.
Another useful word we discussed was uplifting.
When something is uplifting, it makes you feel happier or more positive.
For example, someone might say, "That walk in nature was very uplifting."
Or, listening to cheerful music can be uplifting.
Spring itself can be very uplifting because of the sunlight, flowers, and fresh air.
We also talked about how spring weather can sometimes be deceiving.
When something is deceiving, it looks one way but feels different in reality.
For example, the sky might look sunny and warm.
But when you step outside, the wind is cold.
Someone might say, "The weather looked warm, but it was deceiving."
Spring weather can surprise people like that.
Another word we learned is brisk.
Brisk describes cool, fresh air that feels energizing.
A brisk morning walk can wake you up and make you feel alert.
For example, someone might say, "I love going for a brisk walk in the morning."
Brisk air feels refreshing rather than uncomfortable.
Next, we talked about April showers.
This phrase refers to the rain that often happens during spring.
And there's a famous saying, "April showers bring May flowers."
This means the rain in spring helps flowers grow later.
So even rainy days can be important and positive.
Another useful verb we discussed was revamp.
To revamp something means to give it a fresh new look or style.
For example, someone might say, "I want to revamp my living room this spring."
Or, "I decided to revamp my daily routine."
Spring often inspires people to revamp parts of their lives.
We also talked about the phrase odds and ends.
Odds and ends are small random things that collect over time.
For example, old cables, broken pens, or small objects in drawers.
Someone might say, "My desk drawer is full of odds and ends."
Spring cleaning is the perfect time to organize or remove those items.
Finally, we talked about the word rejuvenate.
When something rejuvenates you, it makes you feel refreshed and full of new energy.
For example, someone might say, "Spending time outdoors really rejuvenated me."
Or, "Spring always rejuvenates my mind and body."
That feeling of renewal is one of the best parts of spring.
Before we finish today's episode, let's talk about something simple.
What's that?
How listeners can enjoy spring while also practicing English.
That's a great idea.
For example, when you go outside during spring, try describing what you see in English.
You could say things like, "The park looks lush today."
Or, "The flowers are very vibrant."
Or, "The morning air feels brisk."
Practicing simple descriptions like this can improve your vocabulary.
And it can make everyday moments more interesting.
Now we have a question for you, our listeners.
Yes, we would love to hear your answers.
The question is simple. What is the first thing you like to do when spring arrives?
Maybe you enjoy going for a walk.
Maybe you like opening all the windows in your home.
Maybe you enjoy seeing flowers bloom.
Or maybe spring motivates you to start something new.
Try writing 1 or 2 sentences in English.
For example, when spring arrives, I like to spend more time outside.
Simple sentences like that are excellent practice.
Spring reminds us that change is natural.
After every cold and quiet season, something new begins.
Trees grow again.
Flowers bloom again.
And people feel inspired again.
Sometimes a small change, like a walk in fresh air, can make a big difference.
And sometimes all we need is a little sunlight and a little motivation.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Simple English Cast.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation and learned some useful English along the way.
If you liked this episode, share it with someone who's learning English.
And remember, improving your English doesn't have to be difficult.
Sometimes all it takes is listening to natural conversations.
Stay curious
Stay motivated.
and enjoy the spring wherever you are.
We'll see you in the next episode of Simple English Cast.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.